What's driving markets? Welcome to Market Take. Each week, we'll bring you our insights to the latest market and economic trends that are impacting investments. I'm your host, Glenn Purves, Global Head of Macro at the BlackRock Investment Institute. This week, we give our take on historic policy changes in the US and Europe. Germany's plans for a big fiscal boost and the US tariffs reinforce our expectation that policy rates will stay higher for longer. The US started to push ahead with hefty tariffs on Canada and Mexico and raised tariffs on China. Most of the North American tariffs were ultimately put on ice for another month. Policy uncertainty poses risks to near-term growth, yet persistent inflation could limit the Federal Reserve rate cuts that markets expect. That reinforces our expectation of higher for longer policy rates and bond yields. Potentially higher inflation from tariffs, higher for longer Fed policy rates, and persistent fiscal deficits could push investors to demand more compensation for the risk of holding long-term bonds. Our expectation for resilient U.S. corporate profits is less certain for now. We still think earnings strength can broaden out beyond tech and to other regions as the artificial intelligence theme evolves. German bonds had their sharpest sell-off since 1990 last week. That came after Germany and Europe took steps to ramp up defense and infrastructure spending. We go underweight in euro area sovereign bonds. We think yields can climb further due to higher for longer policy rates as greater government borrowing and spending stokes inflation. The European Central Bank is also nearing the end of rate cuts. Here's our market take. U.S. tariffs and Europe's plans for a fiscal boost reinforce our expectation of higher for longer policy rates and higher bond yields. We go underweight euro area bonds. Policy uncertainty will continue to weigh on U.S. stocks in the near term, but we see reasons to stay overweight tactically. For details, read our weekly market commentary. Go to www.blackrock.com/weekly-commentary. Thank you for tuning in. If you've enjoyed this episode, subscribe to Market Take wherever you get your podcasts.
This material is intended for informational purposes only and does not constitute investment advice, a recommendation, or an offer or solicitation to purchase or sell any securities, funds, or strategies to any person in any jurisdiction in which an offer, solicitation, purchase, or sale would be unlawful under the securities laws of such jurisdiction. The opinions expressed are as of the date of publication and are subject to change without notice. Reliance upon information in this material is at the sole discretion of the listener. Investing involves risks. BlackRock does and may seek to do business with companies covered in this podcast. As a result, listeners should be aware that the firm may have a conflict of interest that could affect the objectivity of this podcast. For more information, visit blackrock.com.